Hello, my name is Lester Willis. I'm a DNP student at Brandman University, and welcome to my presentation on a proactive health communication plan for increasing physical activity. So the at-risk subpopulation that I'll be discussing today are adults who have low physical activity levels in San Luis Obispo County, California. How active is the community? Well, San Luis Obispo was ranked as the healthiest city in the state of California by USA Today. They were ranked as the third fittest high exercise community in a Gallup poll in 2016 and ranked 10th in the Well-Being Index by an additional Gallup poll. And if you break that down into numbers, you will see that there was just over 50% who said they engaged in 30 minutes or more of physical activity 5 days a week, which is meeting the physical activity guidelines. There's another 26% that say they exercise 3 to 4 days a week, 15% 1 or 2 days a week, and then there were 7% who say they don't really engage in physical activity. So how do these numbers compare to the weight of San Luis Obispo? So there is about over half of the county that is overweight or obese. And that can be broken down further to about 42% being overweight and another 13% being obese, which kind of matches up with the physical activity that's reported. So just over half the adults meet physical activity guidelines, but over half the adults are overweight or obese. So the community could benefit from increasing the rates of adults who meet physical activity guidelines. What are the health risks of not meeting the physical activity guidelines? Well, we can understand the risks by looking at some of the benefits. Physical activity decreases the risk of stroke and decreases symptoms of depression. It also helps people to maintain their cognitive abilities. Physical activity decreases risk of cardiovascular disease. It improves cholesterol levels and also improves people's blood pressure. There are also many other benefits that include weight management, reducing the risk of some types of cancers, reducing risk and aiding in the management of type 2 diabetes, helping people maintain strong bones, reducing risk of injury, and reducing stress. And now we're going to look at creating a plan for health messages that won't get lost and make sure that these messages reach the people they're intended to reach. Effective health messages can be created blending science, interpersonal skills, and multiple forms of media to form a message and change culture. This plan looks at how local businesses can contribute, building upon their public relations skills and challenging their teams to use their tools in order to form target groups to create the necessary messages at the right time to help increase the physical activity of members of the community. The theory to be utilized is the stages of behavior change theory, which includes the steps of pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance, where health messages can be formulated to target those different steps of behavior change. For the first few steps within the theory, messages should serve to raise awareness, motivate, and raise commitment by having the pros outweigh the cons, showing people that there are more benefits than there are barriers. And for the 50% who are where they need to be, there still should be some messages that continue to motivate their maintenance and reward them. There are many different ways in which we communicate, and it's best to use multiple formats of communicating the health messages in order for there to be the greatest reach. Messages may be as simple as supporting an environment where coworkers want to contact one another and encourage one another to increase their physical activity levels, to pick up the phone and say, hey, come for a walk with me. Social media is another very powerful platform. It allows for people to connect, for people to stay informed. There's a whole lot of information just right there at your fingertips, which empowers people. And it also creates a way in which people can interact with one another. Businesses can incorporate health messages into their use of social media accounts. Businesses can be provided with information and links to include with their advertisement that raise awareness of local resources for physical activity and provide messages of motivation and messages of community praise for meeting physical activity guidelines. It is also important for the storefronts to be immersed in consultation with health professionals. Flyers, posters, and other print media can be provided so that uniform messages for all stages of behavior are integrated into the community and into the culture of the community, whether people need to get up, get going, keep going, or if they're doing great. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation.